Throughout the making of this opening, we were introduced to many different and new products. We used Canon EOS 450 digital SLR to film the majority of our opening. From this we learned many techniques such as manual focus and using the sunset setting to film our time-lapse. We also used the Sony HDD Handycam camcorder to film the vlogs, as this brought a sense of realism to the opening. Furthermore, we thought it would be a good way to distinct their personal thoughts from a third-person perspective of them on their journey. One feature of the Sony camcorder that we thought was particularly useful was the night vision, which we used to film our end scenes. As the setting was already dark, this helped the footage to come out vividly, as well as putting a spooky twist on the end scene. It also further made them seem more vulnerable, as they were in the unknown and in conditions where they could barely see where they were going. To edit our movie, we used Final Cut Pro on the iMac. We were not very familiar with either of these, and so we struggled at the beginning, which overall slowed down our editing process. We did, however, come across many different tools to help us edit our footage, such as the blade tool. This helped us to split the footage and audio up and move it around. For example, we wanted to extend the sound of the bird screeching from our establishing shot to the next scene, and so this was useful to help us cut and copy the sound we wanted. The fast motion effect was also useful. For example, it helped us to speed up the time-lapse in our attempt at distincting dawn from dusk. There was also a custom setting on this effect which enabled us to adjust to a suitable speed to fit with our movie, helping it to flow better. We also used the slow motion effect as well as the reverse action on a shot of the male lead jumping down from the tree. This created an illusion of him being hung by the supernatural force, which was one of the highlights of our film opening. All 3 times we went out to film, the process extended out to evening, where we were unable to see the characters efficiently without a source of light. To resolve this, we used the Google Nexus 6P flashlight. Though this was only from a regular phone, it surprisingly enabled us to see the images clearly most of the time. However, some of the footage was still difficult to see, therefore we resulted in using a highlight effect from Final Cut Pro. This brightened the footage, making it usable in our opening. To accompany our footage, we added a range of horror music and sound effects which we acquired from royalty-free websites such as Incompetech and Purple Planet Music. The sound effects we used were from Final Cut Pro itself, and consisted of a woman screaming as well as the cracking of the neck when the male lead was hung. We chose our horror music by playing it against our movie, ensuring it fit our storyline. We struggled to find one suitable track for our beginning scene, which would portray the environment around our characters. In the end, we decided to overlay 2 tracks, one from the horror genre and one from a lighter playlist, and learned how to incorporate them both together using the mechanisms from Final Cut Pro to produce our ideal soundtrack.